Hello there, Qckslvrslash, and today we have a game from DJH93, also known as Devon, and he is in the Tier 7 Japanese, I almost said cruiser, Japanese destroyer, the Akatsuki. And I really enjoyed this ship. Guns are decent, torpedoes are decent, and you can get some good damage on the board by mixing the pair. And that's what really made it stand out to me. You have basically equal ranges out of your guns and torpedoes. The torps are split into 3 racks, meaning you can kind of split what you're doing up. You know, you could fire one set of torps at one edge of island, one at the other, and then save one for anyone who comes charging around. Whereas in some of the other destroyers where you're limited to 2, you either chuck at both edges of land or save them. Like, you're just limited a little more in your options as to where you can spread those torpedoes around. Now right off the bat here, Devon is heading straight for the middle of the map, going for B. He's got good detection, 6.4, and really is in a position to do it. A couple enemy ships get spotted, and I guess the big plus here is the Sims is almost definitely going to get spotted before he does. Exception being if land is involved and a Sims comes around the corner inside that 6.4. So that gives him a bit of an advantage. Can see here the Emil there takes the torps, looks at the Sims for a second, trying to consider what to do. Sims turning out though before detecting Devon, and that can be one of those advantages. Now I think the Sims was expecting gunfire and it never came, but he's gone, meaning Devon may have a chance at capturing this before that Emil gets here. Hopefully some of those torpedoes connect. Hopefully they just make the Devon slow down, or the Emil slow down. But looking more and more like he may just slip through. 20 seconds to go. Be great for Devon here to manage to take this cap. The reason is once you have a cap, you can sail out of it. The enemy gets in, it just stops you from getting the points. As long as you keep shooting them, they're never going to take it. And the second they die, it's all yours. Unfortunately, with less than a second left, the Emil gets in. The fortunate side, there's a Fiji there, you got Devon here, and a Belfast. 3 ships can all focus down one target. That Emil shouldn't last too long. Now, I would have thrown torps in the water the second I saw him turning like that. Try to head him off before he can get to the island. Unfortunately, Devon is thinking about his guns, and with the Emil turning side on, it's time to go to AP. Just because you're in the destroyer doesn't mean you can't get citadels, and, well, the first volley is gonna prove that. One sit there, yeah, sure, it's not battleship damage, but 2,500 out of a volley is a healthy number. And a couple more hits like that, and Devon may just have this Emil done, and a second later, the cap will be his. Unfortunately, he just sails out trying to keep that Emil in range. And then the Fuso finishes him off. Plus side is, the cap wouldn't have been his. Looks like the Sims reverse course, got inside, and is now firmly camped on the other side of this island. And that is one of the frustrating things about B. I mean, it's great. The island provides pretty much perfectly equal cover. The downside being it gets frustrating when a ship just plants itself there and refuses to move. I've done this, or had to do this in clan battles, I've had to do it in ranked and random. Like, you just get yourself in the DD, wedge yourself into a corner, and just deny it from the enemy. I guess the flip side of this is Devon's team is pretty much wiped out C, and they're hard charging in, so pretty quick this John Way should have a view on the Sims. And well, it's Devon who gets him first, and once again, Devon just holding fire, choosing to do the spotting rather than shooting. And I mentioned this in the Gate game, there's a great value to just passively spotting. And that's all Devon's doing. Now the Sims hasn't fired his guns there, but in running from Devon's spotting, he kind of sailed straight into this group of DDs. Unfortunately, no one's really paying attention to him. They're all looking at these bigger ships over here, and, well, Couple torpedoes there. 3 of them, 3 floods. That New Mexico no longer has the kind of hit points he had. And a timely fire. It looks to have used up his damage control earlier. And this is absolutely perfect case scenario for Devon. Hits the New Mexico, gets the flood, and the New Mexico can't really do anything about it. Unfortunately, the Belfast is the one to finish him off. But not before Devon manages to rack up 50,000 damage between that New Mex and the Emil. So with B secured, the enemy team now really has to try to figure out where they're going to make a move. And really it's got to come in the form of getting rid of that Nuremberg and then just pushing up and erasing the Fuso. I feel that is their best option, because most of Devon's team is cycling down underneath the enemy team. They can put the numbers together to really just rip these 2 ships apart. Meanwhile, Devon just eagerly hoping that Iron Duke comes reasonably into torpedo range so that he can get the hit. But with more than one destroyer closing, he finds himself spotted, pops that engine boost, and gets moving. And this is a great spot to use an engine boost when you need to accelerate. So many people use it right at the start of the match to get to a position quicker, but all that does is put you further away from your teammates. In destroyers, use it for those moments where you're trying to be a little cheeky, where you're sitting still when you really shouldn't be, but it might work out. Have that engine boost available, so if you need to get your booty in gear, you can get moving. And honestly, this is a gunfight I think Devon wins pretty much every time. He's got a Belfast over his shoulder to help him, but even with the Sims there, I just haven't found the Shanwei to be a particularly good ship in any regard. And, well, grounding it isn't going to help him. But what's odd is despite getting the fire and a grounded DD there, he chose to shoot at the Sims. I would have kept focusing down this DD. Instead, it is the Belfast that gets the kill. And maybe he just felt the kill was done and he wasn't going to have his chance. And looks like Devon's trying to do a bit of teamwork. He saw the Belfast behind him and he laid a smoke, but based on sitting at full speed, Devon had no intention in sitting in it. Unfortunately, the Belfast just used his own. And that's kind of a waste. It's a shame he didn't see it, but Belfast turned for the torp, slammed on the brakes, went, it's time for me to smoke. But smoke or not, somebody has to do the spotting, and that's where Devon is going to do his job. He's going to get out in front, spot for that Belfast, and let the Belfast do some damage. Especially considering that enemy team pushed up, killed the Nuremberg, and then the Fuso. They fought their way back into this, and Devon's team is in a dangerous position. Their ships are all chasing this Iron Duke down here. Now, they're going to get him. The Omaha may not survive to see that day, but the bulk of them should. But chasing is just such a dangerous move to make. With the ship spotted, you can see instantly the Belfast locking on to the lowest health target, and this is where being able to spread your torps, pretty handy. Though it looks like in the end Devon threw them all at the Bayern, but you know, a couple at the Bayern because he's the biggest target, maybe one at where you thought the Fiji was going. You know, who knows what you'll get. But a little higher density on the Bayern, if you keep sailing straight, that's gonna hurt something fierce. One of the torpedoes detonating as it hits the shoreline, but the rest still looking good. And with the Fiji stopping, this Belfast has a pretty easy target, and there are those torpedoes. 2 so far, might pick up one more, there it is, and just continuing to spot. Unfortunately, he is radared. The fortunate side, it looks like they're all focusing in on the friendly Belfast who's sitting still in the smoke. Fiji's guns clearly looking elsewhere. So, Devon does what any reasonable person would do. He's spotted anyways. There's that plane overhead which now looks to be gone, but get the guns firing. You know, at 8.3 kilometers, he's far enough away that he should be able to slip a lot of the shells coming his way, and really helps his Belfast in this situation. While the Fiji may be ignoring him, the Bayern certainly isn't, and once again, Devon switches targets, the Belfast finishes with the kill, picking up a Kraken. Now this is, you know, kind of like my Bravo Zulu thing. What the Belfast has done so far would not be possible without Devon's assistance. You know, getting out there, spotting so he can sit stationary in a smoke and just start racking up kills. But while the Belfast has kills, Devon has damage, up to nearly 105,000 damage so far, and that number's only going to climb as he lights another fire on that Bayern, and the enemy fleet really all pincered into one location. This one's gonna be over. The Sims is spotted, the Bayern has very little left, the fire getting the final tick, Devon finally getting a kill. With only a Sims left, this is all but over. That Belfast though, he's gonna have to kiss the donkey. He sailed straight in to a huge set of torpedoes, and well, that's just gonna delay the game. There's always this moment in the game that it gets frustrating. Now, the one thing I was gonna point out, but it is a different ship. I thought the Belfast had just thanked for smoke, but it turns out it's the Omaha. And well, there's that pesky Sims. That volley misses. The Allies don't. And a very nice result for Devon. 268,000 credits, almost 13,000 experience, though there's a lot of flags involved in that one. 112,000 damage spread across torps and guns. And, you know, when new lines come, a lot of the attention goes to the top tier, but the Akatsuki was a ship that got added to the Japanese destroyers that I absolutely loved. I ended up keeping it, had a lot of success with her, and it's just a well-rounded nature. As far as base XP, second on the team, just shy of 2,000 experience, and that kind of shows you, despite not having a super high kill count or even super insane damage, like, Devon mattered in this game, and when you look at the damage he did to different ships, there's some big hits on a couple dangerous ships there. And also just spotting, went to the right places at the right time and challenged the caps. End of the day, took home those 220,000 credits, and there you can see how he managed to stack up almost 13,000 XP. And a couple games like that, you're basically through the ship in less than 10 games. Anyways, I hope everyone enjoyed this. I certainly did. Thank you for sending it in, Devon. And if you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up or subscribing to the channel. And as always, I'm Qckslvrslash. I'll have another one for you all later.